What's going on? It's Griff. I normally don't make many videos like this, probably won't, but wanted to give whoever watches kind of an idea of my background and training and just a little bit of my story. A little bit about me before I start. I'm an aspiring strength coach. I'd love to be a strength coach, and I also want to be a special education teacher someday. Um, Hopefully, I'll be able to do both in my lifetime, but the ultimate goal is to own my own gym. So that's something I'd like to do. So, yeah. But to start, I've been around weights kind of my entire life. I've been doing kind of lifting classes since I was 8 years old. My teacher, Jimmy Brooks, who's also my older brother's teacher, kind of got us into the gym. And, I lifted for a couple years doing the classes and stuff, and I was always naturally a pretty strong kid. I had a 105 bench at 9 years old, was benching over 100 pounds at 9. So I've always been a very strong presser. And I've always kind of loved being strong. It's always been a good feeling being one of the stronger people in my class, just amongst my peers. So I've always enjoyed that. Took a little break, kind of lifted on and off from about 2017 to 2020. My brother would bring me into the gym. He'd write me a workout, have me try it, but I wasn't going very consistently. Most of the time it would happen that I'd go in and then, hit it hard, and then I'd just take a little break, so consistency wasn't there. And then 2020, COVID happened and lockdown started, and school was kind of online and weren't doing much with school. So one day my brother invited me out into the garage, and we kind of hit it off from there. We did a O-line blocking workout with bench press and then a couple accessories, and it was a really good start. So around that time, I was in 7th grade, entering 8th grade. My best bench was 225 at 12 years old. I went from a 175 bench to a 225 bench over March 2020 to May 2020. And it was kind of around that time when I realized that I can be really strong and I can do this. And then, from there, I kind of just took off. 8th grade, I was able to bench 315. And that was probably one of the more impressive feats of strength that I'd done. My freshman year, it's kind of just been like a very gradual climb, very gradual. My sophomore year is the only time I've ever sustained a major injury, and that was my knee. I tore my MPFL and partially tore my MCL, and I was able to rehab back and play after 5 weeks, which was really awesome. I was a big, I'm a big dude, and one of the biggest things that happened when I hurt my knee was my ability to move went down even more. I've always not really been the best at moving, but when I got hurt, it kind of went downhill from there. Turned out ugly, so having to rebuild that back was really tough, for sure. But I really didn't start getting into training big time until I got to school. I play offensive line at the University of Illinois, and I enjoy it. And I think that one of the biggest pride and joys of being an offensive lineman is you get to be just really strong. You want to be strong. And strength is never a weakness at the offensive line position, and that's why I kind of try and preach now. My training philosophies are, I believe that athletes should run and jump often. I think that they should squat heavy, and I think that they should squat fast, and I think that bench heavy and bench fast. So I'm big on the conjugate method. I love dynamic effort. I love being able to use accommodating resistance, and I think that all athletes should do that. In terms of Olympic lifts, I'm not big on them. I think they're a very skilled movement, and then when you're good at them, they have a very good translation. But when I was doing them growing up, my technique wasn't really good enough for there to be a noticeable difference in my explosiveness, so I stick to really fast squats, really violent squats, and I think that's what's made me more explosive. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I just love to train, and what you can expect kind of from the channel is just training. It's kind of all I do. But yeah, I've also recently locked in on my nutrition. Been looking at my macros, and I've really been ramping up the carbs, and I just feel better overall, 100%. So I'm excited to see where that can take me. You know, at the end of the day, all you can do is train. So just remember, be kind, love big, and train hard. See ya.